Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Tech Creators, and today in this video we are going to see how web works behind a simple query. What are the things which happen? So this will be a basically web 101 class. Yeah, if you are interested in content related to web development, software development, productivity, AI, and startup entrepreneurship, productivity, so do subscribe to my YouTube channel Tech Creators, as I will be putting more and more content related to this, and I think this content will be useful for you to learn something new. So now let's get to the video. Okay, so what happens when we click on when we go to Google and search for some, for example, a image, and some sites comes up, and after that we see the image and we download it. So what happens in the background is what we are going to discuss today. So, as we have taken the example of searching for an image, so let's see that. First of all, we have something called a DNS server, DNS, and DNS stands for Domain Name Service. And here comes our browser. So this is our browser, and so whenever we make a request from our browser, it first of all goes to uh, the load balancers. So this request goes to load balancers, and after that, load balancers assigns a server. So after the load balancer assigns the web app server, it contacts the database. So here comes the database. So this is the database, or it can also contact caching service. And web app server also remains in contact with the job queue. So it's a queue of the job which needs to be done. So job queue, which in turn get connected to job server. Web server also contact full text search service. So this basically searches up for the relevant images according to the query, and there can also be services. And after that, after getting all the data, it loads the data in the data warehouse. It keeps the data in the data firehose, and from that the data goes to the data warehouse. So this is data warehouse. Copy of the responded data is also sent to the cloud storage. The cloud storage is this is the cloud storage, and which eventually gets transferred to the CDN, or you can say content delivery network. So the browser can contact CDN also, and load balancers can also contact CDN. So this is how the background of your simple query looks like when it searches for some, in our case, an image. But yeah, it can change from different site to site. So we are talking about this in general. So this is not actually in general, but if you want to learn how all the complex applications work, so yeah, this is how many of the complex applications look like. So now let's discuss all of this in some detail. So don't worry that I will surely discuss everything in detail, not that much in detail, but yeah, let's talk about them. So what happens is when you click on Google and type beautiful image of sunset, so Google comes up with its results, and after coming up with the results, let's say you click on first link and the link takes you to a website. So for example, Unsplash or Pixabay. When you click on the Pixabay or Unsplash, so let's take one example for simplicity, Unsplash. So when you click on that, it Google asks the DNS server what is the location of Unsplash, that is what is the IP, and then it goes to that IP, and it hits the load balancers. So load balancers, according to the availability of the server, assign one of the server. From that server, if the content is available in the caching, then it takes the content from the caching servers. Otherwise, it takes data from the database. And along with that, we have a job queue. So which are these jobs are done by job servers, and full text search services, let's say they take your query and put them into their search bar and then searches for the results. So all of the relevant images will appear here. So this is for that. And for services, let's say checking the Google, checking your account, checking your subscription and all of that. So for that they use services, and after getting all of the data, they store the data in the data warehouse, which eventually pushes the data in the Google Cloud. For example, they have taken cloud storage of Google or Amazon, so AWS, it goes into them, and from that it gets shared to all the content delivery net. So after that, whenever someone else just come with the similar query, so they can directly take the content from the content delivery network, which is close to them. Otherwise, they have to follow this path again and again if the query is different. So now let's discuss what is DNS. So DNS stands for Domain Name Service. So it is like a phone book for the internet where, for example, you want to go to Unsplash. So unsplash.com, for example, will have an IP address of 192.256 dot 133.79. So this is the IP of Unsplash. So your browser will go to this IP and show you the Unsplash website. So the Unsplash website is eventually on this IP. So you can type unsplash.com, or you can directly go, if you know the IP, you can directly go to that IP to access their website. So it is just a phone book type of servers where they just store key value pairs. So like in the old days, we have Sam as our phone book. In that we have Sam and his number is, let's say, 82918043221, etc. So you can actually call Sam, or you can call to this number from your phone. And so this is like this for the internet. Yeah, that is it for DNS. Now let's move to our second thing, and that is load balancers. So load balancers are like, for example, Unsplash uses 10 servers to display and handle their traffic. So load balancers comes before that. So for example, Unsplash has 10 servers. So let's first of all keep 5 only. So these are all the servers which Unsplash uses to handle the user's query. And for that, when our request comes, so on which it should get to. So for that, there is one layer which is called load balancers. So this is the load balancer layer. Keeps track of which server is how much busy, how much traffic it is handling. And according to that, if a server is not busy or it can handle more requests, so this request will get transferred to that server if it is available. Otherwise, the next server, which is less busy, and like that, it can assign any of the servers. So there is no difference between any of these servers. They are just the replica to handle all the requests easily, so that no server gets too much busy or gets crashed with the user's request if it cannot handle it. So for that, we replicate the servers. So before that, there is also two concept of horizontal scaling and vertical scaling. So this is the example of horizontal scaling, that is adding more and more servers to your users increases, so you increase the servers, number of servers. Okay, there is also a concept of, this is horizontal scaling. There is also a concept of vertical scaling. So in vertical scaling, we try to keep the number of servers same. For example, you are working with the server, so it initially had, for example, I don't know what processor they use. For example, it initially had a i3 processor, but now your users are increasing and more requests are coming. So you upgrade your processor to, let's say, i5 or i7, so that it can handle more and more requests, i9. So this is called the vertical scaling, and this is called horizontal scaling, where you are just adding up more and more servers, and here you are increasing the power or of the server. So here you are increasing your CPU or your RAM to meet the demand. So this is the concept of load balancers, that they assign the proper server which can handle your request, which is free. Okay, now let's move to our next concept of, so now we need web application servers. So here is web application server. So in web application server, they are the actual server which process our requests and they send back our HTML or CSS JavaScript back to our browser. So they are the main one who implement the business logic. They return and respond to users, and these servers communicate with, for example, database, caching service, job queue, search service, and other microservices to help them with the proper data and proper implementation, proper response for. So to implement web application server, you should know Node.js or Java, PHP, C Sharp or .NET. So these are some of the languages in which you can implement the web server, create your own web server. And they have some of their own framework. For example, Node has an Express framework, and here you can also use Ruby, which has Ruby on Rails as his framework. For PHP, we have Laravel, and we have. So we will not be talking about these languages and their frameworks, but yeah, if you are interested, you can like take these keywords and search on the Google for more information. Now the next thing which comes to our diagram is database. So we have database. So I hope you like this video. If you like this video, do share, comment and subscribe. If you like content related to entrepreneurship, web development, startup, AI and productivity, do subscribe to my YouTube channel Tech Creators. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.